Hello, everybody. I'm Rikki Smith. Welcome to Faith on Friday Presents. At Faith on Friday Presents, we're all about highlighting inspiring people, engaging topics, and small businesses. And while you're here, don't forget, subscribe to this YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram. All right, y'all. Have you ever had an accident that changed your life? Have you ever done something that you never expected to do only to find out it was exactly what you were called to do? How about you've gone someplace to do one thing, turns out you did something else only to find that this was everything you needed in your life? Well, today I'm going to introduce you to somebody who had that same experience. Everybody, please say hello to Penny Wallace. Hi, Penny. How are you?
I'm great, Rikki. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, Penny, thank you so much for being here. Your story is truly amazing. But before we jump into that, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're located.
I am located in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is on the Gulf Coast. White sandy beaches, love it. I was born and raised in California and spent the first part of my life there. Moved out here 27 years ago after coming out on a business trip. I fell in love and decided not to leave. I
Wow.
have my own business, Penny Wallace LLC, and I serve women business owners.
Wow. You got a lot going on. But before we get to all that good stuff, we're going to talk a little bit about what happened to you and what that did for you, your life, and your business. So, Penny, if you could tell us what happened.
I was getting ready for work one morning and I went out. I don't own an iron. So I went out into the garage to pull my top out of the nice, warm, fluffy dryer. And my cat got out. And I decided to chase her. She went up into the rafters. I grabbed a ladder, ran up after her, and I fell.
You
I,
fell through the ceiling?
no,
Or,
I fell from the top of the ladder.
oh
And
my gosh.
um, it was a 6 foot ladder.
Hmm.
And I remember thinking, tuck your head, don't let it hit the ground. And then I woke up on the floor. Have no idea how long I was there, but I woke
Oh,
up, which is wonderful.
well, yeah, take the win. I woke up. So I'm guessing by that you live by yourself.
I do. I do. I am single. I live on my own. I have since I was 18.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I didn't have my cell phone with me either. So ladies
Well,
always take your cell phone with you just in case.
there, take the cell phone. But if you fall out and you're unconscious, the cell phone doesn't really do a lot right away.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
So you were
Um,
actually unconscious, but you have no idea how long you were out.
correct. I don't think it was a long time, but
Hmm.
I was definitely out because I very clearly remember waking up.
Oh
I
my
untangled
gosh.
myself, decided that I was okay, stood up, went in the house, called my boss, told her I was going to be late. She
Yeah.
suggested that perhaps I go to the doctor instead of coming straight to work. So I did.
Smart boss.
Yes, definitely.
So what
Yeah.
did so you went to the doctor? What did they tell you?
He told me that I had a little bump on my head. I had some bruises and cuts. I was going to be sore for a few days, take some Tylenol and go home.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I know the audience is wondering, so am I. Did you get the cat though?
I I tried and I finally got very angry with her. I left the garage door opened overnight and she came back in about 7 o'clock the next morning,
Okay.
acting as if nothing had
Nothing
happened.
ever happened.
Um, She
Wow.
wanted
So there you are. You were unconscious. You went to the doctor, got your Tylenol, came back home. Penny, what was going through your mind at this time?
I was truly in shock. I was not making good decisions for myself,
Mm.
and I have a friend who tried to make good decisions for me, and I fought her. So,
Mm,
in my mind, I just needed to heal and continue
mm-hmm.
because I'm responsible for myself and I have to make a living. I have to go to work. So that's what I did.
Wow. So the bump on the head,
Yes.
you survived the fall, the cat
Yes.
came back, you woke up the next day and kept moving. So what changed, Fanny?
Over the next 30 days, I had a lot of interesting side effects to the fall, I like to call them. Um, I was having trouble remembering things. I was exhausted. I was fearful of
Mm,
anything that involved even a step. I was losing track of what I was saying
oh,
and having
wow.
trouble organizing my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
30 days later, I went and saw my doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me that I had a very serious concussion and that
Wow.
over that 30 days, I still had a concussion and I was still in shock.
From that
So,
fall, 30 days later.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. So when you went back to the doctor, they said, now, oh, sorry, we missed it the first time. You now have this serious concussion. What did they tell you to do after that?
He was a wonderful man. He was really upset at the care that I had gotten at the urgent care.
Mm,
And he sat down with me and we went over what was happening, the problems that I was facing,
mm.
and ways that we could address those challenges. And he and I worked together over the next year, maybe a little more,
Wow.
as my brain healed. I
Hmm.
had a lump on the back of my head. I'm not kidding, about this big around.
And that's like
And
the size of a baseball,
it's
softball.
bigger, yeah.
Wow.
Um, and I had a skull fracture, and
Oh my
it took
goodness.
a long time for the lump to go down. I didn't sleep with my head on a pillow
Hmm.
for about 8 months. Um,
Wow.
and even to this day, it's been 7 years, and I still get nervous to have my head, this part of my head on a pillow,
Oh my
because
goodness.
I remember what it felt like. So,
Yeah. My
but
gosh.
it was a slow process. Some things came back.
Hmm.
Things didn't come back exactly the same, but
Yeah.
it was an interesting learning experience.
What is it that you learned?
I learned that the way my brain worked after the fall wasn't the same as before the fall.
Mm,
And where I used to be able to do all kinds of things very quickly, now I
mm-hmm.
had to be slower, more methodical, and
Mm-hmm.
have a list and a system in place to help me get from A to B to C.
Right.
And I started developing systems for myself, both at work and at home.
Mm-hmm.
Simple things like I cut my wardrobe down to all black and gray because
Really?
it created too much anxiety for me to figure out what to wear in the morning.
Wow.
Um, I only drove when there wasn't a lot of traffic. And
Mm-hmm.
fortunately, my job in Tampa was counter commute.
Mm,
So it was a nice, safe drive for me in the morning and in
right.
the afternoon. Excuse me.
Mm.
I My grocery list became the exact same grocery list for about 4 years.
Really?
To this day, I still get a lot of those same items every week
Mm-hmm.
when I go grocery shopping.
My goodness.
At work, I changed the way our team communicated. I organized us, which we desperately needed. Um,
Right.
and, I was very fortunate to work with a group of people who just were incredibly supportive through the whole
Mm-hmm.
process.
Yeah. And what a process that must have been. So now you're 7 years into this,
Mhm.
and I know through various other things where we know each other from, that you now have processes that not just only help you, but help clients that you work with. Tell us how that came about and what it is you're doing right now.
Well, I I took a lot of the learnings, having to think about things very differently. My brain now thinks in spreadsheets and systems and
Mhm.
processes.
Mhm.
Um, it's how I operate. And when I decided to leave my job almost 3 years ago,
Mhm.
I decided to start my own business and do for clients what I've been doing for myself for several years. And that
Mhm.
is, tightening up systems and processes so that we can be more efficient and helping them really understand how time, expenses, and income impact the bottom line
Right.
and everything that we do, and especially time. And time and systems
Mhm.
are just together.
Right.
So,
So
yeah.
before the fall, did you have the same mindset?
I did to a certain degree. I've
Mhm.
always I learned how to do business process transformation very early in my career.
Mhm.
So it's easy for me to look at current processes
Right.
and identify, help somebody identify what's working and what's not, and
Mhm.
then come up with strategies to make them more efficient. Um, since the fall, and really putting that into my day to day,
Mhm.
I think I've become better at it.
Right.
Because, it's how I live now. So
Yeah.
I just translate that now to clients.
That is so great because so many people have had some sort of unfortunate accident, had an incident happen, a fall like yours, and they didn't bounce back in the same way. Some people will sit and be like, I can't anymore because what I used to do, I can no longer do. There's no sense in trying anymore. So now this is going to be my new life. My new thought pattern is I just can't because of this. Where you seem to have taken that completely the other way. I can't do it like this, but I can do it like this.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's huge.
I'm single. I've never been married.
Mhm.
So I've always had to depend on myself.
Mhm.
And if I did not get up off the floor that day and just
Yeah.
continue moving, what was going to happen?
Mhm.
I was just going to lay on the floor.
Yeah. That's sad but true. But metaphorically, a lot of people are still laying in the floor. So quickly, Penny, talk to somebody who has had an accident like this and who thinks they can't do it anymore. What would you tell that person?
The first thing that I would recommend is find a doctor who truly understands, cares, and wants to help you. My doctor put me in touch with some different people to help me get through that process. It gave me exercises and little like phone games and things to do to
Right.
help my mind.
Mhm.
Um, and, really work with somebody
Mhm.
to help you because it's very easy for us, especially as women, to just do everything on our own.
Right.
And I did that for 30 days. It didn't work.
Right.
So, find somebody and have a good support system.
Yeah.
Let your family and friends know what's going on with you. That's one thing I didn't do.
Wow.
Not a lot of people knew exactly what was happening, just that
Hmm.
it was changing.
Right. That you
And
weren't the same.
yeah, I'm definitely not the same person I was before the
Hmm.
fall, but I do like who I've become.
That's
So,
that's huge. I like who
yeah,
I've become because the person that you were before the fall isn't this person now. Is that right?
correct.
Wow.
Correct.
That is awesome. Penny, what's the name of your business?
My business name is very simple, Penny Wallace LLC. My website is pennywallace.com. And as I said, I serve women business owners, mainly service providers and coaches who are looking to tighten things up in that back office admin arena
Mhm.
and really get their hands around how their finances are impacting their business.
Wow, that's good stuff. Y'all, don't worry. If you didn't get her contact information, everything is going to be in the description below. And don't forget, while you're here, subscribe to this YouTube channel, share it with your network, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram. Penny, my friend, before I let you go, we're going to have to play a game.
Okay.
This game is so simple. It's called What's Your Favorite? I'm going to ask you a couple of things. You tell me what your favorite is, and that's all there is to it. Are you ready to play, my friend?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Penny, what is your favorite quote?
Knowledge is power.
Oh, that is a good one.
Can't remember who said it, but I first heard it in the movie Auntie Mame.
Okay. It's still true today. That is so good.
It is.
What is your favorite genre of music?
Oh, I'm old school, classic rock and 80s. Really
Me
anything from the
too.
60s to the 80s. Yeah.
I'm 70s to the 80s. That's my favorite play. That is so awesome. So that must mean you listen to really good music. That's just what I think.
We
What
had the best.
we did. We really did. And it was the most fun. And you could listen to it with your mother, just saying. What is your favorite kitchen gadget?
Oh, my Vitamix.
Nice. You can't go wrong with a Vitamix. That's so
I
true.
I can't live without it.
What is your favorite childhood memory?
Oh gosh, being at Santa Cruz with my grandmother when I was about 4 or 5 years old, and she took me out into the water and told me to watch for the waves and never to turn my back on the sea because you never know what she's going to do to you.
Well, that is words to live by, honestly. Penny, what's your favorite Olympic sport?
Ooh, I really enjoy ice skating.
I have not watched ice skating in a long time, but I really like that too. That's a good one. And finally, Penny, finish this sentence. I have a ridiculous amount of blank.
I have a ridiculous amount of useless information in my head. I may not be able to remember your phone number, but I can tell you all kinds of crazy, crazy things.
Wait, you have to give us an example. What's the strangest thing that you just randomly know?
Um, I know the name of the woman who dubbed the singing for Natalie Wood in West Side Story and Audrey Hepburn in she sang Moon River, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh my
Her
gosh,
name's
somebody
Marnie Nixon.
dubbed that?
Yep.
Okay, what's her name?
Her name was Marnie Nixon, and she dubbed all the great actresses who could not quite sing as well as the studios wanted them to
Yeah.
in between
Well,
the 50s and the 60s.
so that means if somebody wanted a trivia partner, you would be that person.
I make a good trivia partner.
I bet. Penny, thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. I had fun.
I'm so glad. Everybody, thank you so much for watching because truly without you, this would not be a thing.